right. So there's some really unfortunate news about Andrew Tate. People sent this to me in the Discord. You know the drill, link in the bio, and just $2 membership on YouTube. That's all it takes. You can have access to me and my handsomeness, whatever. Anyway, it's called Andrew Tate has terminal lung cancer, ? Prosecution discovers their plan to flee Dubai. Crazy. Let's just get it.
Okay, today's topic.
Andrew
Tate apparently has a tumor in his trachea, his bronchi, and his lungs.
God damn.
Leaked medical documents reveal that Andrew Tate in December made
That was so sad, dude.
a medical visit to a hospital in Dubai, then took chest x-rays in December 5th. On December 12th, Andrew Tate returned to the hospital for a chest CT scan following some medical investigations, and several anomalies were identified in the British man's chest. The document also shows the presence of a hematoma in the lung, being a suspicious finding for a more aggressive neoplastic lesion, a carcinoid tumor, calcified metastases.
It doesn't look good.
Every time I read it, yeah, that's what I'm getting.
I wonder if that's even real. I don't know. I'm so skeptical. Is it even real? Is it just his plan to get out of prison? Or is it the Matrix starting to play the game and to explain Andrew Tate's mysterious disappearance? We'll never know, guys.
Yeah,
it don't look good.
So medical. You probably gonna die. That's what I understood. Andrew Tate was
because whenever everything good is like, okay, buddy. So do you have a blood in your poop? No, you're off to go. All right. Yeah. But when they start pulling this in,
we found something. I'm like, oh shit. Metastasized. Oh shit. Calcified.
What does metastasize mean? Does it mean like a large tumor?
No. This month, Andrew Tate should have had an emergency bronchoscopy and biopsy of the lung lesions identified, but no procedure has occurred. For all the people who are medical people, like, how am I pronouncing these?
Oh, it means it's spread to the other sites in the body. Oh, okay. Damn.
Words. Am I doing a good
You're
job?
pretty good.
Okay, I just want to make sure. The conclusion of the investigation carried out in Romania by Andrew Tate shows that the British man suffers from a tumor in the trachea, bronchi, and lungs.
Why? How did it take this long to figure out? Is my question. Like, he's rich. Why wouldn't he be able to figure this out sooner? Like, what does even a cancer screening mean? Like, wouldn't that manifest in some capacity? Sooner? I don't know. Maybe I'm just skeptical, but I feel like this is just like a sympathy ploy so that even if he gets convicted, which he should, because he's effectively admitted to the sex trafficking. Yeah, I mean, he has, literally. I'll do what I always do and just link it in where he did that into the description, like I always have to do. Because everybody's like, no, it didn't happen. You're just not watching the resource. Like, that's it. Like, I feel like I don't know. I'm very skeptical. Very skeptical. I feel like it's all just a ploy to get garner some kind of sympathy or something. Because how does a rich guy not figure this out sooner? So if it's metastasized, wouldn't that mean that it's like all over the entire body? Have advised that waiting 6 months without his treatment can prove fatal or irreversible. Okay.
Which has an unknown and unpredictable evolution. Andrew Tate has thus recommended a CT-guided puncture to take tissue from the tumor formation. It is important to add that many medical professionals have advised that waiting 6 months without this treatment can prove fatal or irreversible. Now, there's a lot of things to glean from this. If this is true, obviously this is a terrible thing, and then I don't wish death on anybody.
I don't care. Is it terrible? I don't know. I mean, I would never, like, listen, I could be a little bit of a spiritual guy, just like Andrew Tate. Isn't he Islamic now? I would never waste my karma, and I would never wish somebody to get something like this, but who cares? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but we're talking about a net loss to society who's literally admitted to sex trafficking. Like, I'm not, like, okay. I guess God bless him and his family. That's, I mean, okay. I don't know. Like, okay.
I will say, however, that this could be just a ploy by the defense team to try to get him out early.
That's what I think.
Or try to get him out on something that will make him be able to travel for medical treatment. And so it's hard to glean whether or not this is true without looking at the documents ourselves. But it is an interesting piece of confirmation. A lot of folks feel some type of way about how this whole thing is unfolded. So I would just ask you, seeing all the updates and everything going on, what have been your thoughts?
Whenever you're detained, you still have to have a humane way of getting treated. And if you are sick, you're supposed, technically.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I agree with that. I think that as like a standard rule, they should do whatever he's supposed to do to get done. That's fine. It's not empathetic or sympathetic to it.
To be treated. So I don't know how much they got in from Romania, but at least be checked. And if it's true, then take proper steps, because that could be fatal. But if you want someone to be prosecuted, that person needs to be healthy. You want that
Sure,
person to
yeah,
pay for what
I
they
agree.
did? If they did something, they need to be healthy in order to be able to pay the time.
Oh, they're still going to prosecute him even if he dies. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to keep all that money.
Absolutely.
That civil forfeiture, all them Bugattis, all that money
Hey, same.
that they froze. You know, that goes straight to the police and the government if they successfully. Yeah.
Hey, have to throw a party.
If you gain money from criminal activity, where do you think that money goes when they seize everything?
Back to us.
Okay.
I mean, by us, I mean them.
I will say this. There's been a lot of different updates as far as the whole medical thing goes. Like, would I allow him to go back to Dubai for like life-saving emergency treatment? No.
No, of course not. You would just have to provide it there. Like that's what it would be. Like what they should provide the best that they can. Like they should do the best that they can to keep him healthy. That's just like due process, right? They still have to do a trial and all that other stuff. So they should provide him medical treatment there. But he's a flight risk. He's a rich guy with private planes. They shouldn't move him anywhere else except for where he is. That's all it is. If he wants to have some world-renowned doctors fly there and provide him treatment that's better than the treatment that they can get in Romania, go for it. But he shouldn't be allowed to leave at all. He's a flight risk.
Because he's already proven to be a flight risk. They
Absolutely.
intercepted text messages and phone conversations of him talking about how they would run away to Dubai.
Oh, did they?
Like so them getting.
I mean, he's admitted it before. He says, like, I have a bunch of passports. I'm leaving, if I have to. He said this before.
On one hand, I don't think it's right that without pressing any charges, they're able to hold him in prison indefinitely. What it appears like. On the other hand, he has expressed the fact that he is a flight risk, so there is a.
My understanding is that like they're just they're gathering their defense to go to court with that. So I think holding him is fine. But
reason to want to hold him. One and two. I mean, brother, you left the UK and you chose his justice system.
This is probably.
Is that true? The doctor that evaluated him was a cosmetic doctor? What is a cosmetic doctor? Was that what it was?
14% of the reason I moved to Romania. People say, why did you move to Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. For me,
listen, the Me Too movement's a good thing because it gives people the ability to come forward and feel more comfortable doing so. But at the same time, like, yeah, especially online, everything is rape now. People are obsessed with sexual assault in every capacity. Always. It's actually unhinged. I mean, you see it constantly every single day. Everybody views everything through the most predatory lens ever. There's no more common sense on the internet. It's actually destroyed. It's unhinged. There's an obsession with getting raped. It's unfortunate. It's actually insane. If you look at the way that we talk about every single topic online, everything is grooming, everything is predatory. Nothing is proportionate to what it actually is anymore. That doesn't make Andrew Tate innocent. What it does is it dilutes the waters. It muddies them. And then when somebody that's horrible like Andrew Tate, who's admitted to making the girls fall in love with him, pulling them from other countries, he has to sleep with every girl that he does webcam with, admitting that he treats his webcam girls like prostitutes, which is different from other webcam people. It makes it look like, well, they throw it in with people having a literal meltdown over deepfakes. I'm just going to say it. Now, listening to it, I understand why people want to ban deepfakes. I get it. But you have people who are famous, who have the ability to tell people that's not really me, who nobody thinks it's them, using the proportionate energy of somebody who is actually sexually assaulted. It's disproportionate. I'm not saying it makes it right, but the energy is insane. Deepfakes have ruined my life. I'm being targeted by this, crying on camera as if somebody like held a gun to your head and like did horrible things to you. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be upset, but there is a normalization of disproportionality on the internet. And every time a normal person says like, yeah, this is weird, everybody goes like, well, they have the right to feel however they want. Feel however you want. Doesn't make it a proportionate response. That's what happened. And so like, frankly, that type of energy is one of the reasons why people question if Andrew Tate actually did something wrong. Because now everybody's obsessed with this shit. It's fucking unhinged. I couldn't imagine being a person who was actually sexually assaulted or groomed existing on the internet today and consuming the content without wanting to like be incredibly upset all the time, because it's a slap in the face of those people every single day. It's okay to be upset about things proportionately, but like the energy we're using is insane. It's performative. It's like the whole fucking internet is a reality TV show, and I'm tired of it. It's obnoxious. It's so fucking obnoxious. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. The whole conversation is so frustrating about this topic of like of all these different topics lately. It triggers me beyond fucking repair. Because any level of not even skepticism, just proportionality is met with like just anger. Like, oh, how could you question that? It's insane. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. I'm triggered. I'm sorry. I was talking about my wife earlier today. It bothers me. I enjoy. There's so much terminally online behavior, bro. There's so many things I want to say. But I don't even know how to articulate it here. Because Andrew Tate's a scumbag. Fuck him. But goddamn, bro. This is so frustrating, bro. Yeah. Yeah, people like revenge porn is a big deal too. And like somehow deepfakes are worse. That's the energy that we're using here. People need to take a breath. It's frustrating.
Oh no, not court in Romania. They're corruption free, as we all know. Let's put me in jail. I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Boom, this hose, this sells mine. I'm ready.
This is, by the way, is probably why they're prosecuting Andrew Tate so hard. Because he's basically saying the Romanian government is pathetic and won't do anything. It's either like, well, we have to prove him wrong, so let's actually like really push and use a lot of resources for this.
Put me in there. I don't know law. Take her court case. Shut up. Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I've committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost?
Wow, fucking based. Holy shit.
To make this all go away.
You talked about how it's a joke, and now that it's being turned on you,
It's not that much funny.
you know, you was the one talking
It's not that much funny.
crazy about them.
Loud.
Okay. You know, at some point, you got to also understand you chose this environment. So that's some accountability that you got to hold in terms of an L right there. But I don't think, if this is happening in North America, I would think it's unacceptable to hold somebody for that long without charges. But that's also why I choose to live here.
Sure. I mean, they probably would just charge him. I don't really understand the Romanian like process, frankly. So, you know, from what it sounds like, that does sound unfair. There's plenty of things to charge him with. I don't know why they haven't charged him specifically, because they have a lot of information. They have enough evidence to charge. I mean, at that much we know. They have tons of things that he said, text messages, etc. So I don't know why they haven't put formal charges, if that's true. It seems to be true. It makes sense that they're holding him. I wonder why they're not putting formal charges. That's the only weird part about it, because there's plenty of things to charge him with, so I don't know why. I wonder if that's just part of their legal system. Andrew Tate's lawyer says his detention in Romania violates international law. Interesting. It doesn't seem to... That means... Huh. I wonder what it is.
Best believe there's plenty of places in the world that I could live at where there's less taxes, where there's less, surveillance of certain things. But guess what? There's also traditionally less rights. There's also less freedoms. There's less forms of justice. You know, so every country's got a trade-off. You know, people want to do this whole thing. I'm gonna go here and fix all my problems. Like, no, you just trade in your problems for a different set of problems, and you just have to figure out which problems you want to deal with and which ones you don't. Oh. Right? Every country got its ups and downs. You know one thing else?
What happened?
They were trying to bribe a few politicians to speak on their behalf in regards to getting them free.
Oh my god.
No, was that really true?
Ain't that crazy?
Or do we call, not for nothing, but in America we call that lobbying.
So what happened is the prosecutor's office intercepted some wiretaps, and they ended up finding out that he was making those calls too.
The internet celebrity instructed two associates to tell the Romanian politicians George Simon and Diana whatever that he was being framed and supporting him would be very good for their careers, according to one of the exchanges. Okay, how? What is he gonna do? Is he gonna pay him? Make it clear to them you will get a lot of votes when Tate says you took their side. The former... Okay, I get...
Put pressure on those politicians. Yeah, speak up. So they found those. Hey,
what's going on, guys?
We're not touching this. Like, I would never speak out on his behalf. And so it just starts to look worse when you see how he's trying to game the system. On one hand, I get it. This dude really wants to get out. On the other, the way he's doing stuff is hella shady in the back.
And he said that. He said that he could bribe everybody. When you said you chose that.
Yeah.
You chose that life.
Yeah.
You was bragging about that life, and you said, I'm gonna go there to not do this, not do that. The criminal system is this and that and that. And now you're there. And the criminal system is a certain way. You're not getting what you want. You're saying you're on the receiving end of what you're doing.
Hold up. I will say this. We have to be careful not to be like, oh, Romania is just this corrupt country. People just talk like that. Like, these people have no laws and anything like that. Like, they can just...
They probably... I mean, it might be easier for the average person to engage in some more corrupt tactics, you know?
Just be...
but they clearly have some kind of legal infrastructure.
And you find out, actually, no, these people do have certain values. Now, you might not believe that. You might say it is absolute corruption, and you're entitled to your opinion. But what the people over there feel like is like, no, this is how we do it over here. This is our form of justice. They do this things. Like, it's not the first time this prosecutor's gone after crime figures or people who run organizations. So people who are not from there are just looking at the judicial system, Romania, like corruption. Eastern Europe, right? Even though it really borders on Western Europe to some degree. Corruption, right away. It's like, it's a bit also disrespectful and a poor way to speak about a country that you know nothing about. To just say anything that isn't the West is inherently corrupt. The only reason that they're doing this is for money.
I'm a little confused.
Right away. Corruption. Eastern Europe, Russians. So this things, like, it's not the first time this prosecutor's gone after crime figures or people who run organizations, right? Even though it really borders on Western Europe to you know nothing about. To just say anything that isn't the West is inherently corrupt.
Well, I imagine people that Romania is corrupt is because Andrew Tate, if he's saying it, regardless of which side they're on. That's why I'm okay.
The only reason that they're doing this is for money. It's like, what?
Bro, the way I've seen...
I think he's referring to the Andrew Tate people. But it's funny because he's referring to the people who follow Andrew Tate, saying that basically Romania is part of the Matrix and they're corrupt. But it's like, okay, Andrew Tate knew that going there. So if that is true, is that what he wanted?
Those countries, Slavic countries, and Romania and whatever. Okay, Eastern Europe. I feel like every country in the world has their form of corruption.
100%, of course.
Sure. Even here in America, whatever. It's just that they are more upfront with their shit. But I think the level is the same thing as that. I think that there's corruption.
I would. I mean, I'm not super educated, but I would say America's probably the least corrupt, but we still have plenty of corruption. I feel like ours is just like right in our faces, and we just don't care. That's the problem with it. Things like lobbyists making it so that they don't have to they can just like destroy and pollute everything, or be able to put disgusting like addictive substances in our foods and shit, and we're just like whatever, we don't give a shit. We literally have an obesity crisis in America, and like our government just not doing anything about it. Just don't care. And we have a healthcare crisis as well. So
here in Canada, in the States,
sure,
they're not that open about it. They're really good at making it look like they're not about that life when they're about that life.
I'm about
when
that
people
life.
are making deals, it's always 10, 20, 30 years later that you figure out.
More like 420. I got him.
About something on a Netflix special of the corruption that happened before. So
yeah,
they sin
like
as much as we sin. It's just they just do it differently, and it's kind of maybe more open. You can't talk wild about a country
that you're not from.
That you're not from.
Like you own the bitch.
I can't go to Cuba and talk shit about Cuba. They gonna X me. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean,
you can't go to a country and then talk a whole bunch of shit and be open about it, doing podcasts, and you shit on that country. And the minute that they got something on you, you think they're not gonna do something.
Yeah.
It's like if I go to your house and I talk shit about your house. If you find out, you're gonna ask me to leave, or you're gonna.
Well, no, it's more like if you're in my house. Yeah, you're in my house, just talking shit. Like, look at this fucking. Which, by the way, I'll do to your house. Not them, but if I go to your house and there's like shit all over the place, like I don't care if it's like not amazing looking, but if there's like doo doo in your toilet somewhere or pee pee on the toilet seat, I'm talking shit. My wife, that's it. You're over. I understand as a man pissing all over the toilet seat. Sometimes, bro, sometimes it's dark out and you just won't. You're sleeping and you get up and your aim is off. You know what I mean? Not everybody's perfect, but you gotta clean that before guests come over. Okay.
You're gonna do something.
You gotta clean that, brother. You gotta clean it.
House might not be the best house, but you're certainly not gonna come inside and start talking crazy. They already have enough motivation to come after you for criminal activity. Then they find out you think their justice system is a joke.
Damn,
you just incentivize it. You just incentivize
it.
Yeah,
you just said, okay, well, we're gonna apply the justice system.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to Singapore and spit on the ground and call this shit. They're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck.
Yeah, I think it's a little. I mean, like I don't know. I wouldn't doubt that there is pressures from other countries onto Romania to do something. The biggest is that like Andrew Tate seems to be brazenly like Romania is probably more corrupt than like America, which it's debatable. But I would say. But Andrew Tate has gone there to engage in the corruption, talked so openly about it for so long, and then he has like legitimate charges against him, and then he's also admitted to it on his own videos that will be linked in the description. And now they're like, fuck, we got to do something. We're a joke.
I won't feel bad. Maybe it's not the right thing, but I certainly won't feel bad for you.
You kind of asked for it.
I'll say this. I think as everything has been coming out, people have been like, oh, this is bogus. Oh, this is more real. I remember at one point there was a text conversation between two of the victims and people said that shit was fake. Look, they're making false allegations. Then the full context of the conversation comes out, and then it turns out it makes Andrew Tate look worse than what it originally was. Basically, it was chopped and screwed.
Oh, true. I mean, the biggest thing for that, but base, by the way, I gotta say, you gotta give Avid Preach big props here. But the reason I'm saying that is because like Like they're close to they're like bordering Manosphere. That's not an insult. That's just a reality. And there are a lot of content creators, even now, despite the fucking overwhelming evidence against Andrew Tate, that are still playing this middle ground bullshit, disingenuous game. And they're like, what they said makes sense so far. Like, hey, he should be charged if he's there. It sounds shitty, but look at all the shit that's come out against him. Blah blah blah. But you've seen these people that are so enthralled by fucking audience capture that every time they come in, they're like, we still don't. It's like, yeah, we don't know, but based on if you don't, it doesn't take too much to look and see what Tate has said to go, he's probably guilty. Okay, I'm not saying that he needs to go through a due process, of course, but there's so many people who play this game and they wouldn't even go this hard. Honestly, they would be like pussies and be like, well, I still, Andrew Tate, he's just like Donald Trump, I can't believe Donald Trump wasn't a sex trafficker, okay? It's just fucking desperation to play the line.
So everybody gonna pick and choose where they're at. I stand on this side. From what I've seen of minimal evidence, to me, it appears like he's guilty. But it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it has to go to court and it should be put in front of the judicial system to be handled. But to act like there's no case is crazy to me. That's what I personally think. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, man.
You think you got cancer?
It's a possibility. Like, cancer is out there.
I just don't care.
You know what I mean? Even me, I don't even say if I get cancer. I say when.
Really?
I think next time I go to the doctor, I'm going to have them test me for blood work for cancer.
You mean you're going to get it?
Bruh, my grandfather died of prostate cancer. My dad had brain cancer. My mom had breast cancer.
Damn, that's rough.
I got wonderful genes for my facial features. For the cancer, not so great, the genes. Okay, so it is.
Somebody
I'm lucky I'm ugly.
lied to you about the facial face.
I've got a lot of fat in my family, so hopefully I don't go to the doctor next time I get diagnosed with obesity, because that'll just break my heart. Not that it's already not taking a beating from my obesity.
Maybe they did, but it's besides the point. The point is, motherfucker, my genes are not good for cancer. If they're not good for my face, they certainly not good for cancer. I'm gonna tell you that. You know what I mean?
Just fuck around.
I know you're fucking around. That's why I don't pay attention.
That's good. Everyone's like, no, how about your face is ugly? I'm like, that's okay, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Whatever.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's besides the point.
I get what you're saying. I inherited certain things from my father.
Well,
and,
you just gotta check your.
Why do I got this? And then like, what about your dad? I'm like, oh yeah, he got it too.
You gotta check. You just knowing that shit. You just gotta check it early. And it's just a message from It's just a whole other topic. I know all my Haitian people and my Caribbean people. Talk to your kids about how people die. Don't be afraid, because that helps us in the future.
Go check your blood pressure.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Go check your blood pressure.
Anyways,
just saying, that food, I love it, but that ackee and saltfish is very salty.
Yo.
Okay, go check your blood pressure. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all I really have. I don't know. There's a lot of updates, and people ask us why we don't cover it. It feels like there's always new thing happening, but I thought this one was pretty.
Yeah, that's true. It's like every day someone's like, "Oh, this happened with Andrew," and it's like, okay, I'm like I can't update every time he takes a shit. That's like a little bit hard, This one, people were sent to me, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Big in regards to the cancer, because I think it's a very different angle on this whole thing. I mean, if you got cancer, I'm sure there's plenty of people who will be celebrating, like, ooh, yeah, fuck you, misogyny.
Yeah, my mom had cancer too, and the breast cancer, so multiple times she relapsed too. It's pretty not. It didn't get that bad. I think she was, the first stage? I almost said first trimester. So I should probably get checked for some stuff.
Go kid. All right, and there's other people who go like, damn, the Matrix gave him cancer. Okay. All I'm saying is, if he does, I hope he gets treatment in Romania as he should, not going to Dubai to get a free ride to be able to run away from these charges.
True,
but yeah, outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. But in Romania, because it's not good enough for you, well...
Don't make sure that you don't put Michael Schofield in the same prison cell as him, okay?
Then you shouldn't be talking shit.
And you shouldn't be in Romania.
You shouldn't be talking shit.
You chose that country. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay.
Right, cool video. That's pretty good.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.